Yeah. Boxing aficionados. What's up? What's going on? Hey, yo, check this out. Tonight I'd like to talk about young Mr. Oscar Valdez. You see, because quiet as kept, Oscar Valdez's current situation is pretty tragic. Very sad. Here is this young pugilist who, for all intensive purposes, is on the verge of superstardom. His performance against Miguel Berchelt, who at the time was the #1 super featherweight in the sport, it wasn't Gervonta Davis. Let's get that clear. At 130, the man was Miguel Berchelt. He was the boogeyman. You know, he was the guy. Guy nobody wanted to fight. Supposedly, although he himself didn't want to fight Jamel Herring. But that's a story for another day. So, along come Oscar Valdez. He says, I want that fight. I've been wanting it for years. Gets in the ring against Miguel Berchelt. That's a proverbial underdog. And then he proceeds to put on a very unexpected clinic for the 6 rounds or 7 rounds it lasted. I'm not sure how many rounds. But he put on a clinic where everything came together for Oscar Valdez, and then he ends it with a spectacular knockout. Dramatic. A dramatic knockout that had Miguel Berchelt collapsing like a stick man. First the knee, then the hip, then the chest, then the face, as he landed face first in the canvas from one hell of a shot. It was a star-making performance. The kind of performance that rightfully so got him a new contract with Top Rank. But when you make a performance like that, equally as important as that performance is the follow-up performance. Because that's when it all comes together and you cement and you give your promoter a chance to replay your old fight as he introduces you in the coming weeks to your next challenge. And now, instead of talking about his homecoming to Phoenix, Arizona, we're talking about whether he's a dirty fighter, whether the Miguel Berchelt KO was, the product of shady chemical use. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It casts a very ugly cloud over Oscar Valdez. And let's get this straight. Oscar Valdez is a beautiful person. Bilingual, expresses himself with dexterity, with clarity, with class, well-spoken. He was on the cusp. You know, he'd been toiling around. He was a champion for a while at 126, but couldn't get Leo Santa Cruz or little Gary Russell. Couldn't unify against anybody. Best name on his resume, or the most, not best name, but most recognizable name, was Scott Quigg. And you saw the performance he did against Scott Quigg. Another star-making performance that these know-it-all boxing writers want to critique him on, instead of complimenting the fact that he stood in the fire against an overweight Scott Quigg and finished the fight on his feet with, a broken jaw and put a beating on Scott Quigg while having a broken jaw himself. Man, like, that was mind-boggling. Mind-boggling performance. It was the performance that endeared him to me. It was the performance that made him my son's favorite fighter. My son saw that fight. He was about 6, 7 years old. He's 11 now. And it's like, Papi, Oscar Valdez's fight, that's his dude. He sat through that performance against Scott Quigg. And it's left an indelible imprint in his psyche. But we can't talk about that now because we're talking about whether or not he's a clean fighter, man. And it saddens me. Sad. It's sad. It's a sad situation. And what I really need to know is what's going on in this Canelo camp. What's going on in Canelo's camp? I mean, this is not the first fighter that pops dirty. Or possibly. I'm not going to condemn that was the A sample, so there's a B sample that needs to come back. So I'm not going to, put the cart before the horse. But, it's just a shame that we're talking about this instead of the fight that's coming up against Robinson Casesao. Oscar Valdez was set up. Oscar Valdez was set up to defend his crown against Robinson Casesao. And then if he emerges victorious, go up against the winner of Shakur Stevenson against Jamel Herring. Two really great names. It would have been a really good fight. Shakur Stevenson is probably going to win that. So, two young fighters at 130, unification. The kind of fight that's really missing from boxing. It doesn't happen regularly enough. It doesn't happen. But it was all set up to do that, and now we're not talking about that possibility anymore. We're talking about him and this cloud that's over him, and I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm saddened. Honestly and truly. Honestly and truly. I'm sad. I'm upset. I'm angry. It's a shame. But it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't, baby. We got to talk about it, right? And again, what's going on at the Canelo camp? What's the name of his butcher? Can somebody get me the name of Canelo's butcher, por favor? Por favor. ¿Cuál es el nombre de el carnicero de Canelo? Canelo to carnicero, por favor. Come on, man. Like, what the fuck is going on? You have Andy Ruiz going over to the Canelo camp, all of a sudden looking like an Adonis, looking like, looking sexy and svelte, cut up shit. Andy Ruiz, who couldn't lose an ounce when he was with Albert Sanchez. You know, when he was with Abel Sanchez, Andy Ruiz couldn't lose a pound, couldn't lose an ounce. And Abel Sanchez used to have him running up mountains, miles. That nigga was running miles. Up in the mountains up in California, miles. Up and down mountains, couldn't lose an ounce. Gets to Canelo's camp, and Eddie Reynoso finds the magic elixir to make him look, you know, like a Mexican Adonis. What's going on, man? I ain't accusing nobody. I'm just asking a question. Don't get offended. I'm not accusing anybody. I just need to ask the question. Oh, man, this is so crazy, man. This is crazy. You know, Ryan Garcia himself, before getting to Canelo's camp, you know, he was a skinny, slender kid with a lot of power and quick twitch muscles. So whap whap, he was nice. Guess what? Canelo's camp starts looking like Tarzan. What's going on? What is going on? I ain't accusing nobody. I'm just asking a question. Oh, man. But it's a shame, man. It's a shame. I'm laughing, I'm joking, I'm goofing, but I'm hurt. Because Oscar Valdez, I really like that kid, man. And, you know, like I said, you know, hope everything turns out all right. Because he's set up, man. He's set up for some really good fights, man. At 130, I hope he doesn't get stripped. Keeps that belt, unifies. You know, he could unify against the winner, Shakur Stevenson, Jamel Herring, or have Emmanuel Navarrete come up and fight him at 130 for the WBC. Two Mexicans, Emmanuel Navarrete against Oscar Valdez. That would have been awesome, man. He could have had Navarrete or Shakur Stevenson, man, or Jamel Herring, you know, depending on who wins. I don't want to dismiss Jamel Herring, man. That's a disc. But I gotta be real. Like Shakur Stevenson probably is gonna get that fight. And instead of talking about all these possibilities and positivity, you gotta talk about this nonsense, man. And it's a shame, man. Oh man, this sucks. Anyway, it is what it is. And it ain't what it ain't, baby. Next level boxing talk. Motherfuckers, I'm out.